Hello students, today we are going to continue model number 4, and into this model number 4 today we are going to discuss about the serial transmission. Okay, in the serial transmission it has advantages over parallel transmission. Okay, in transfer of data from transmitter to receiver, so in case of parallel transmission we require one wire per bit. Okay, for wide encoding the wire takes more significant area and makes layout and routing of the circuit will be more complex. Okay, for connections extended over chips, parallel transmission line requires more pad drivers, more receiver, more pins, more PCB traces. So they all add into cost of the system. So moreover, the system cost is going to be increased. Okay, so it may also increase delay, also it is going to be increased. Okay, clock skew also is going to be increased. Okay, so as other effects here, so the cost increases, clock skew increases, and as the distance is going to be increased. Okay, clock skew is going to be increased, the delay time is going to be increased, and due to it will increase the area, due to increase the area. Okay, so what is the solution for it? Thus there is an alternative scheme for the transferring binary encoding data by using serial transmission. Okay, so serial transmission is a technique which is used for the transmission of data with minimum cost. Okay, in order to transfer data between parallel and serial form, okay, one can use serial shift register. You can use serial shift registers. That is, parallel data will be connected by using parallel to serial shift register. Okay, so this term, the term serializer or deserializer, are called as a SERDs. They are also called as a SERDs. So while transferring data, that is parallel to serial, that is serializer, and serial to parallelizer, it is called as deserializer, or it is in short it is called as a SERDs. And so it will require for the conversion between parallel and serial data form. Okay, so thus we can reduce the cost area by using serial transmission. Moreover, it is necessary we can afford to optimize the signal path for the transmission. Okay, so there is a, while serial transmission there is another problems will come, that is we have to synchronize the data. For synchronization, what is the serial transmission in a system? It often governed by a standard specific order. The data can be transmitted with a standard specific order. Okay, so that important issue is the synchronization of the transmitter and receiver. If we just drive the signal with the data bit values, so there is no identification at what time the data is going to be start, or at what time the data is going to be end, or at what time next bit is going to be come. So for this, so the serial transmission is, we can use the term non-return to zero, NRZ. Okay, so NRZ transmission we can use non-return to zero, and it is as shown in figure. Okay, just set a signal to high or low value for each bit time. Okay, so here you can see here in this figure, so on the NRZ signals, transmission of the value 1100 111, you can see 1100111. Okay, so most significant bit being transmitted first, most significant bit is transmitted first. Okay, we assume that in this case that the value on the signal when no bit is being transmitted is 0. So here you can see there is a no data is transmitted and that is equal to 0 here. Okay, in this figure we can draw a time scale and the interval in which, so here it is, you can see there is a time scale, and in this time scale so we can measure the bits are occurred. So however we can easily mention that how many for this period there is a one data, this period there is a one data, and this period there is a one data, another data. Likewise you will get the different data, and hence for if suppose the time period is not mentioned, then what will happen, one can read this total will be equal to 1, this will be equal to 0, and this will be equal to 1 1. Likewise, and then you will get the 0 0. Okay, so there will be, we need to require mention the time. So to avoid this problem we need to synchronize the transmitter and receiver so that the receiver samples each bit value on the signal. Okay, so then there are various approaches. There are three basic ways in which we can synchronize the transmitter and receiver. First, by transmitting the clock on a separate signal wire. We have to transmit the clock on a separate signal wire. The second way is that by signaling with the start and stop bit. And third is the by using such that the transmission is still used to connect some devices, serial communication ports in modern PCs. Okay, so the next second is second approach. In the second approach, the signal is held at high logic level when there is a no data to be transmitted. So you can see when there is a no data is transmitted, when there is a no data is transmitted, signal is held at high level. So the data hold the signal high when there is a no data. Okay, and to transmit, so we have to start with the one start bit. Okay, when data is ready is transmitted, then transmission proceed by using a start bit. Okay, and then that is by giving low logic level, okay, one bit to indicate the start communication. So this is the start bit where that the bit data are transmitted each for one, each bit will be transmitted at one time. Okay, and at the last, okay, there will be a stop bit at the last. So there, this is the start bit and here it is a stop bit, and all the informations here will get, after that will get high. Okay, high. Okay, so data transmitted here it is 11100 okay. So here another way, note that the transmitter and receiver we must have, there will be time duration. Okay, so the various components or manufacturer provides a components called as a universal asynchronous transmitter receiver, that is called as a UART, universal asynchronous receiver transmitter, or it is called as a UART for a serial communication ports. The software on the computer could program the bit and other parameters. UART are still useful in some applications for connecting remote devices to the digital system via the serial communication links. For example, an instrumentation system with the remote sensor that transmit data at relatively low bit rate can use a serial transmission managed by the UART. Okay, and another scheme is there, that is the third scheme is there, that is for synchronization. A serial transmitter and receiver involves the combining clock with the data onto the same signal wires. So this avoids the need for the tight clock synchronization, since there is there is a indication of when each bit arrives. An example for the such a scheme is an Manchester encoding. So there is an example of Manchester encoding. So at with as with the energy transmission, Manchester encoding transmission bit of the data in a given interval. However, rather than representing each bit using one or other logic level, it represents a zero with a it represents zero. Okay, transmission from low to high, and it indicates at the middle of the bit interval, and one is transmitted from low to high, transmission from to high. Okay, so here, so you can see here in this diagram. So here, so when the bit is transmitted, so from high to low, so that is logic 1, and at the middle here, and again here second bit high to low, so this is logic 1, and logic 0, the you can see the at the falling edge of the clock, so there is again, so low to high, so that is logic 0, and another here logic 0. Then you can see here in this area 1, so you can see that, so in case of Manchester encoding, here it is 1 1 1, then 0 0 0, then 1, then 0 and 0. Okay, so here you can see that whatever the data is transmitted, 0 it is for low to high transition, and 1 is for high to low transition. Okay, may need a transmission at the start of the bit. Okay, so here again, since there is a in Manchester encoding, the data is synchronized with the transmitter clocks, and the clock is combined with the data, where the receiver must be able to recover the transmitted clock and the data from the signal. Okay, it does so using the circuit is called as a phase lock loop. So phase lock loop can be used for it. Okay, so here another is method is called as a, by using phase lock loop, you can say it is a clock recovery system. Okay, so the encoding of such a sequence giving a signal that matches the transmitters, the receiver's PLL onto the signal to give a clock that can be used to determine the bit intervals for the transmitted data. So it is as shown in figure. In this figure it is shown a sequence of the encoded data bit is 1, and a serial signal then matches with the transmitted clock. Okay, so receiver uses PLL to match the TX and RX clocks. Receiver uses, it will match TX clock and RX clock. Okay, the main advantage of the Manchester encoding over energy transmission is that it contains sufficient transition to allow clock synchronization without the need of separate signal wires. The disadvantage in that is that the bandwidth of this transition is double, and the and that as that of energy transmission. Okay. However, for many applications, that is not an overriding disadvantages. So Manchester encoding has been used in numerous serial transmission standards. Okay. So another we can see here serial interface standards. So serial interface standards, it gives advantage of the serial transmission over a parallel transmission. For the application where distance and the cost are the significant considerations, numerous standards have been developed. These standards cover two broad cases of the serial interface. Okay. So connection between input output computers. So there should be or what should be the connection between the computers and networks. It uses various standards to reduce the design inputs. Okay. It uses or it will reuse for the cell components of the or intellectual property. So first standard, it is RS232. RS232. This is the standard. It was originally designed in the 1960s. Okay, for connecting teletype computers terminals with modern devices for the serial communication with remote computers via phone line. Okay. Subsequently, the standards was adapted for the direct connection of the terminals of the computers. Since most of the computers includes RS232 connection port. So RS232 connections were incorporated in I/O devices other than the terminals as a convenient way to connect the computers. So here another example, another standard is the I2C or I square C. So the inter-integrated circuit bus. Okay, inter-integrated circuit bus I2C bus specifies. It is specification is designed by company. It's called as Philips Semiconductor, and it is widely adapted. I2C, it was designed by Philips and it is widely adopted. It specifies a serial bus protocol for low bandwidth transmission between the chips. For low bandwidth transmission between the chip. Okay. So for example, 10 kilobits per second or 10 kilobits per second or 3.4 megabits per second. Okay. It requires two signals, one signal that is energized coded serial data, and other for clock. Okay, the signals were driven by open drain drivers, allowing any chip connected to the bus to take charge by driving the clock signal, and the data signal. Okay, so another method is that USB. Okay, universal serial bus. USB, it is nothing but the universal serial bus is specified by a USB implementation forum. Okay, so it is a non-profit consumerism companies founded by the originally developers of the bus specification. USB has become commonplace for the connecting input output devices to the computer. So it is a commonplace for connecting I/O devices for the computer. It uses differential signaling. On a pair of a wire with a modified from NRZ encoding. Different configurations support the serial transmission supports the serial transfer about 1.5 Mbps. Okay, or another that is 12 Mbps or 480 Mbps. The USB specification defines a rich set of the features for a device to communicate with the host controller. Since there is such a diversity of the devices with USB interface. Okay, another serial transmission, it is the firewire. Firewire. So this is another high-speed bus defined by the IEEE standard 1394 1394 IEEE standard 1394, whereas USB was originally developed by lower bandwidth device and subsequently revised to provide higher bandwidth. Firewire starts out as a high speed bus, that is 400 Mbps. Okay, so there is a also revision in the standard defined transfer rates up to 3.2 gigabits per second. Firewire connections use two differential signaling pairs. One is for data and other is for synchronization. As with USB, there is a rich set of bus operations that can be performed to transmit the information among the devices on the bus. Firewire assumes that any device connected to the bus can be take charge of operation, whereas the USB requires a single host controller. Okay, thus there are some differences in the operations provided by the firewire and USB, and some difference in the application of for which they can be suitable. Okay, so in today's video we have discussed about the various serial interface standards. Okay, so today we will stop here.